Hello there. So I want to ask you, have you ever wondered, like, is this the right supplement for me today, or is this the right essential oil? Have you ever wanted a shortcut to figuring out what your body is asking for, what it wants today? If so, you are in the right place. I'm here to share with you my favorite shortcut for helping to answer this and so many other questions. So, who I am, my name is Krista. I'm the owner of Life Abundant Wellness. I'm a licensed healthcare professional turned holistic wellness guide. I love especially helping working moms to reclaim their health after they've been let down by the modern healthcare system, like I was, and to reclaim their health and their energy through natural solutions, faith, and real life support, and empower them to finally feel like themselves again. So I'm here to share with you about my favorite shortcut. So let me switch my view here real quickly. And sorry, I am working from notes because I want to make sure that I don't forget a nugget of this information for you all. All right, here we go. So, have you ever stood in front of your wellness cabinet staring at your oils, your supplements, and just felt completely overwhelmed? You've done the research, maybe you've heard the recommendations, but in that moment, you're just guessing. And you pick one up and you just wonder, is this really what my body needs today? I've been there. And I'm still there sometimes, so many times. As a mom and as a healthcare professional, I thought that I was supposed to have all the answers, but honestly, I was dealing with my own health struggles, and many times I felt like I was just throwing things at the wall, praying that something would stick. It was exhausting, and if I'm being vulnerable, it created a lot of unnecessary stress. Now, that changed so much whenever I discovered a simple tool that helped me to move from questioning my choices to trusting my body's God given wisdom. And it's called muscle testing. Muscle testing is also known as applied kinesiology. And in simple terms, it's a way to have a conversation with your body, to ask it questions, to ask what it needs, and to get a clear answer. Can I get a hallelujah? So it's the shortcut that I was looking for. And today I want to share it with you and teach you how to do it yourself. So I will be honest, when I first heard about this, the scientist in me, even the believer in me was a little skeptical. I was like, is this legit? And honestly, I didn't think it was at first. But over time and experience and looking into the science behind it, it's actually very effective and it's very real. So, we're going to talk about how it works because, in my experience, it's a beautiful blend of both science and faith. So, from a scientific standpoint, muscle testing is based on the body's nervous system. So, the nervous system is an incredibly detailed, complex, intricate electrical network. And our subconscious brain is at the helm, and it instinctively knows what strengthens it and what weakens it. So basically, when something is a good fit for you, when it resonates with your body, your muscles stay strong. And when it's not a good fit or your body doesn't need it, your muscles will have a weaker response. Now, that's the very simplified version. We could get into quantum physics as a part of this and energy and vibrations, but we're going to just keep it simple and just talk about, the basics of the science here. And basically, it's just a direct physical signal from your body's own intelligence, from your nervous system. And to be honest, from a faith perspective, which is so important to me, it makes perfect sense. God created our bodies with incredible wisdom. Psalm 139 tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Muscle testing is simply a way to honor that design. It's a tool that helps us to listen to the masterpiece that He created and to steward our health more with more confidence and less anxiety. Now, it may seem or feel like woo woo at first. been there, done that. But I promise it's truly not about some kind of new age magic. It's about tuning into the innate wisdom that is already in you. So theory is great, right? But let's make this practical. So first, I want you to know that there are actually several different ways to do muscle testing. Some people use the arm test. I know a lot of people that I'm teaching this to, that's the only experience that they've had with muscle testing is someone else doing the arm test on them. Some people prefer finger resistance methods. And there are even partner techniques and techniques where you can use objects. But they're all basically just different ways of checking in with your body for a response. So they're different methods to do the same thing. My personal favorite, the one that I have found to be the easiest for most people to do, it's the easiest for me, it's the easiest for me personally, and it's the most accessible for a lot of people is the sway test. And so that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you today. So you can do this anytime. There are no special tools needed. And I'm going to invite you to stand up and try this with me if you feel comfortable. So we are going to do this together. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's stand up and I'm going to move my chair out of the way. Uh, so the basics of this are you want to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, and you want to relax your body. And for most people, it can help if they close their eyes and just take a deep breath. All right. And I need to change my notes here. There we go. All right. So the first part of muscle testing, especially when you're new at it, is to establish a baseline for yes, no. So with muscle testing, we are just asking our body yes, no questions and allowing it a chance to respond and give us an answer. So with your eyes closed, and I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see me do this. So with your eyes closed, if you feel more comfortable with that, if balance is an issue for you, you can stay where you have something handy to hold on to in case you do start to lose your balance. You can grab onto it, or you can also do this seated. You just want to be kind of sitting up from the back of your chair, scoot forward, like more towards the front edge of your chair if you can. But again, be totally relaxed. It helps if you just shake out your arms a little bit. But with your eyes closed if needed, just say the word yes out loud and notice what your body does. For most people, you will feel a gentle sway forward. Now, some people, like one of my sons, they feel a gentle sway back. But this is why we establish what your yes and your no is for your body. So whichever direction, that's your yes. So now we're going to find our no, because we need to know the opposite, right? So now with your eyes closed, say the word no. If you're noticing me, I'm not doing that on purpose. That's my body shifting backwards. So you feel a slight sway or a slight pull. Some people feel it as like a pull in one direction or the other. But whichever direction you go, that's your no. Don't force it. Just observe. And also give yourself a little round of applause because you've just had a conversation with your body. So now we're going to try it with something, okay? We're going to try it with something else. Now, I want you to think of something that you love. Maybe your child's smile, maybe a favorite place. And I want you to hold that happy thought and now say yes. And you feel for that response. And for many people, they will get a much stronger pull forward. Now, I want you to think of something stressful, maybe a traffic jam, maybe a frustrating moment. So think about that stressful thing and say yes again. Now see how you may feel that response is weaker. And some people may even sway in the opposite direction. They may get a no, and that's your body communicating with you. So great job. You're becoming a real pro at this. So now before we bring in our oils and supplements, let's build your confidence by starting with questions that you already know the answer to. Okay. So that is super, super helpful. So I like to have people begin by asking something simple like, is my name blank? What your name is. Okay. And then see how your body responds. Now, most people will notice a sway forward for yes. So, for example, I'm going to say, is my name Krista? And I get a yes on that. And it just feels to me like a little magnet pulling me. Now, let's try someone else's name, a name that's not yours. So is my name Peggy? And I started feeling that sway back before I even got it out. Peggy is my mom's name, by the way. And I was called Little Peggy most of my life because I do favor her quite a bit. And so, like, my subconscious is like, no, I'm not Peggy, I'm Krista. So, again, notice that direction. So, that helps you get familiar with your body's language. So, now we're going to apply this, okay? So I want you to pick up an oil or a supplement that you have with you. If you don't have one handy, pause the video real quick and go get it. And what I have on hand is Endoflex oil. So this is an oil I use daily. I don't know of a time that I've ever gotten a no for this. So I did not test this one today, but um, so I'm going to ask my body. You can hold it close if that helps. Take that breath, calm your mind, center yourself, and then just ask a clear question. Body, is this beneficial for me right now? And I'm getting a gentle pull forward. So that's my yes. So what response did you get? So it's that simple. You just ask the question and you wait. And then you feel the sway. Is it a sway forward or is it a no backward? Or again, if your yes and your no is reversed, just take note of whatever your response was. So it's that simple. You can test oils, you can test supplements. This is one, Ningxia Red is one of my favorites. It's an antioxidant super juice. So I asked my body, is this beneficial for me? Yep, I got a yes. Did you see that? Yes. And then I grabbed another supplement that I take on occasion called Parafree. Parafree. And so I'm going to ask my body, is this beneficial for me today? Nope. And it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily like it's bad for me. It's just oftentimes the question that I ask my body is, do I need this today? And that got a more clear no. So beneficial, it may be beneficial, but do I need it today? Nope. So it's that simple. Again, you can do this to test foods, supplements, oils, even maybe services, holistic services that you're thinking about trying for yourself. And this is like where the quantum physics comes in a little bit too. You actually do not necessarily need to have the object in front of you or with you. So that is like next level. But if you can see it or see the word written down, trust me, it works. You can do it that way too. All right. So good job. I'm so proud of you for participating. It's scary trying new things, isn't it? Sometimes exciting. Excitement and fear can sometimes be the same emotion, just different sides of it. But let's talk about now taking this to the next level. So when you realize that your body is telling you that it wants a particular oil or supplement, what questions pop into your head? You can drop those in the comments. Share your questions. I know the most common questions I get, especially like for someone who maybe they're not doing this, but maybe we've done a scan, a biocommunication scan, and their report recommends certain supplements or certain oils. And the questions I always get about oils, essential oils, are how do I use it? Like, do I need to ingest it? Do I need to diffuse it? Do I just need to put it on my skin? They often ask, how much do I need to use? How long? How long do I need to use it? So these are all questions that you can use muscle testing to help you answer. So it's as simple as making that question a yes no question so that you can get clear information. And here's a little pro tip I'm going to give you. I recommend writing down these answers as you go because after you ask two or three, sometimes it can be a little hard to keep up with what your answers were. So for my wellness coaching clients, I actually have this in a sheet, and so they can just go down the sheet and ask the questions and write down their answers as they go. But you can just use a scrap sheet of paper and just write down what you're asking as you go and what answers you get. But for example, so if I want to know what application method to use for particular essential oil, I will ask first, how should I use this oil? So my subconscious knows what question I'm asking, and then I ask the yes, no. Do I need it topically? And I pause for a response and get my yes or my no. Do I need it internally? Should I diffuse it? And it's important to note that you may get a yes response to more than one of these methods, and that means that you could use either of those methods. You may get a response to yes to all three, and that means your body doesn't necessarily have a preference how you use it at this time, just that you use it. And usually that's the bottom line, right? That's the main thing is just use your supplements, use your oils. I also use it to dose my oils and supplements by asking how many drops of XYZ oil or supplement that I need. So, for example, I was just testing Endoflex. So I could ask, how many drops of Endoflex do I need today or right now? And that's not a yes no question, right? So then I change it to a yes no and ask, do I need 1 drop of Endoflex? Wait for the response. 2 drops of Endoflex, 3 drops, and so on. And you, as long as you continue to get a yes, you keep counting up. And then the last yes that you get, so let's say I got up to 6 and I got a no. So 5 would be the last yes. 5 is how many drops I need that day. So other questions you can ask can include if you get a really high number of the drops or of the supplement. That does happen, especially whenever we are trying to address something that just needs a whole lot of support or a whole lot of attention at that time. You may get a really high number. So I think, what was it I got the other day? I had a crazy number, 60 drops, I think, of longevity oil for a need I was addressing. And so then my question was, how many days do I need to do that? So anytime it's a high number, ask that question because usually it's just for a short amount of time. So for me, it was 3 days. And then after 3 days, I was able to step it down quite a bit. Um, so after that number of days, I recommend retesting at that point. So on day 4 for me, I retested to see how many I needed, and the amount did definitely change. Other questions you can ask are, does it matter what time of day I take it? If you get a yes to that question, because that was a yes, no, then ask, should I take it in the morning? Should I take it in noontime? Should I take it in evening? Should I take it before bed? Should I spread it throughout the day? You can also ask, should I take it with food? Or on an empty stomach? All of those are yes, no questions that you can ask, and they are so, so helpful to get that information. So I'm just curious, how empowered are you feeling right now? I know you might still be feeling a little questioning. You might be saying, I want to put this to the test first, but it's just so empowering to know that your body has the ability to do this. So it does feel a little out there for most of us at first. And the first few times you do it, you may wonder, am I just making this up? Am I just leaning the way that I want to? That is completely normal. It's completely normal to doubt your responses and the answers that you get. So here is my advice on that. Practice on things that you already know the answer to. So again, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Endoflex and Ningxia Red are things that my body won't say no to, like ever, because I need them for my hormones. I need it for the antioxidant and the nutrition. So practice on things you already know the answer to. Practice on questions you already know the answer to. Like, what did I have for breakfast this morning? Did I have eggs? You know, things that you know the answer to. Hold a piece of organic fruit and test it, and then hold a piece of processed junk food and test it. Let your body show you the difference and trust your body that it is showing you what you need. And also, I cannot understate this or overstate this actually. Pray about it. Pray, pray, pray. Because the Bible tells us in James chapter 1 that if we lack wisdom, all we have to do is ask for it. And we have to ask for it in faith without doubting, and that God will provide it. So, like any skill, muscle testing gets easier and more accurate the more you practice. So, it's about building a relationship of trust with your body. Give yourself grace. And the more you do it, the more that you'll move from your head and those doubts to your heart, and the clearer those signals will become. Now, I will also add that I do occasionally come across people who really have a hard time getting clear answers. Oftentimes, there are some unresolved emotional things that maybe their subconscious is blocking and they're not trusting themselves. It may be from some kind of a hurt that they experienced in their life or a trauma that has produced emotions that have been unhealed or unreleased. So, if that maybe you, like if you're like, I'm just not getting a clear answer, just reach out to me and we can talk about it and see what we can figure out together. Um, but I do also feel like I need to mention that it is so important to note that muscle testing is not a diagnostic tool. Okay. It should not be used to replace professional medical advice, treatment, or testing. Additionally, it is not intended for making major life choices. Okay. So it should not be used before making major job changes or things like that. Muscle testing is a helpful guide for personal wellness choices, but please always consult with a healthcare professional for serious health concerns and rely on thoughtful consideration for insignificant decisions that will impact your life. There we go. Um, so again, it's normal to feel unsure at first. Practice with things that you know and trust the process. So, what does this all mean for you, for your family, and for your health journey? So, first, this is how you build health intuition. Okay, this is one of the clearest and like baby steps for how to start building trust. Trust in your body, trust in what it's trying to tell you with what's going on with your body and what you need. You can stop second guessing and you can start partnering with your body. Second, it gives you a framework for making decisions. Again, it does not replace research, it does not replace prayer, it does not replace professional medical or health advice, but it does add a super powerful layer of personal insight. And most importantly, it is a powerful, powerful tool for overcoming health anxiety. So when you feel confident that you can find out what your body needs, that fear of making the wrong choice starts to fade away. And you begin to feel empowered and you begin to trust your body and trust yourself. So, my challenge for you now is to start small. So, today, just pick one oil or one supplement. Quiet yourself and just ask. Let your body guide you. Remember that you are wonderfully made. Your body has a wisdom that you can tap into. So let this be your shortcut to moving from confusion to confidence and start truly thriving on your wellness journey. If you liked this content, please let me know. Let me know with a like, let me know in the comments or a follow. And if you would like more topics like this to discuss, share with me what you'd like to know more about. And if it's something that I'm familiar with, I'll see what I can do to create that for you. But thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to hearing from you on how this is working for you. I wish you many blessings.